Hello, my name is Omar Rabasad. It's February 2nd, 2019 at 3:35 p.m. in Toronto. And this is today's sample of the radiation that is being emitted from my body. So that's the hand, and the hand is burning. Tips of the fingers, the thumb, the palm. That's the left hand, right hand, and that's the palm. The ear, the jaw, the ear. The jaw especially is almost always tagged. The jaw. The neck. That's the thyroid. The side of the breast. As you can tell from the brightness of the alarm, the power is turned up. And this has been consistent throughout the day. The only way I can capture this is if I have my camera on all the time. And since I don't relish the thought of living on camera, I don't do that. So I'm in pain. Um, the pain is not piercing pain, but it's a dull ache, as if you just worked out. Did a hard workout, and you hadn't done it for a while, and the way you feel the next day. That's how I feel. Now, when I go to sleep at night, I shield myself, and I turn off the Wi-Fi, and and I have my grounding material on my body. So when I get up in the morning, what I noticed was uh, these are nights when I'm not heavily targeted. If I'm heavily targeted, my shielding sometimes doesn't work. But the nights that I'm not heavily targeted, when I get up, I feel restful when I have the shielding and the grounding material on my body. So this is definitely a factor, and I am going to say the major factor in that feeling of tiredness and exhaustion that you'd get up with when instead of normally you'd get up feeling rested, but when you get up exhausted, more exhausted than when you went to bed, then and your alarm is going off, then this, in my opinion, is the cause. So so that's just an example or a small sample of what I've been experiencing all night, all day. It hasn't stopped. This is not people or perpetrators scanning you once an hour, once every half an hour. This is being logged on, being scanned constantly. It's almost as if, well, let me rephrase that. It's as if your cell phone, the radiation that's emitted from the cell phone when it's activated is on all the time. It's the equivalent of having your cell phone activated constantly, and it's on your body. So of course that doesn't happen. So something is going on here. I am being scanned. I am being accessed, just like a cell phone. I'm being accessed. So this, of course, is harassment, remote assault. This is a violation. This is a crime. Just like you would take a bat and hit somebody, these are remote assaults, physical assaults, and neurological assaults as well. So let me talk a little bit about the tweets that I tweeted today. And I talked about conspiracies. So let me talk about the conspiracy to enslave very briefly. So in my case, I pointed out in my tweets today in ROSHINI 911 Twitter account that I was flagged by people in this building for being somebody at risk. So the person who did the flagging, or persons, called the cops and reported possible criminal activity on my part, lying, out and out lying. And the sole purpose of doing this was to traffic, and to cover the trafficking that but that probably was already being done at the time. So possible prostitution, of course, out and out lie. Drugs in my place. I heard my unit was put on a drug bust list while I was working as an accountant and taking university courses, full-time work. So this is all lies reported on by a person who was in a position to say that I'm observing this person, and this is what I saw. This is just lies, complete lies and statements and affidavits. And once I was flagged, it was piggybacked on. So this was a conspiracy. So a team of people sat down, and this would include some of the dirty cops that was involved who took the statements and who is still flagging me based on lies. They would have meetings and conspire to degrade, dehumanize, destroy, negate things all the positives in your life. Destroy your relationship with your family, friends, co-workers, harass you out of work, make you bankrupt, and just bring down the person, defame you, sell you remotely, have people access you remotely, have people look at you inside your home, in the bathroom, bedroom, no privacy, take away your privacy. So this is all a conspiracy to create a level of people that is lower than the rest, because all the rest of the people have supposedly their privacy and their social status and their relationships and so on, and they get to lead a so-called quote-unquote normal life, get married, have kids, and so on. So that would be the layer on top of you, and you're supposed to be, as a target, a slave above all the rest. So you take everything away, and you're supposed to be dependent on everybody, because everybody now has the power to report on you, to have an opinion about you, and to call the cops on you, because the cops have you flagged. The cops who are taking part in this program is also taking part in an enslavement program, a sexual enslavement program, and a labor enslavement program, because companies put your name on the list to hire you, and knowing that you're in this community targeting program, so they can use the remote satellite-based system and land-based system and local systems in place to hit you with microwaves and lasers, call it in, discipline you this way. This is why they line up to hire you, to experiment on you, discipline you, take advantage of you in every which way, overwork you, push you to over your limit, and constantly degrade you this way, right down to death. This is a program that you never get out of. This is a program that's meant to dispose of you at the end of all the experimentation and at the end of being used. So this is what the tweets are referring to. In my case, none of this has any legal standing. I heard that there is a warrant, an informant in the meetings that they have about me, or else I wouldn't be hearing it outside the window. So there are meetings going on about me. I am being monitored live. A group of people are looking at me inside my home live. This is live. And they're discussing what they see and their feedback, and they're disciplining. They're deciding what the disciplining measures should be. How soon do I go back to work? When in their opinion, I recovered from being sick, and so on and so on. These decisions are being made for me because they signed me in as part of this enslavement program as mentally retarded, not being able to make decisions on my own, lethargic, sick, physically sick, and so on. When really, the radiation that's detected by this technology like this detector is actually what's making you sick. So they're degrading your health as well, and they're degrading your mental health and physical health, and your emotional and spiritual health. At least they're trying. So this is all an enslavement program, of course, which is illegal. And I could prove this in court because all the steps that was taken to make it absolute, I heard, I'm being harassed outside the window by neighbors who are talking loudly, knowing that I could hear outside your window because the way it's structured, I can hear things yelled out on the other side of the building. So they harass me about what's being done. So I know this is what's going on because they're supposed to terrorize me. Terror is another part of this targeting program. These comments are supposed to update me and terrorize me and to get a reaction so they can gauge the reaction and get a feedback so they can take the feedback into consideration in their meetings to make decisions about me. So this is enslavement. This is all about enslavement. And as I was saying, I could prove this in court because I got sidetracked there. I could prove this in court because all the steps that was taken to make it absolute bypasses the legal system, bypasses the normal way of having somebody get a mental evaluation, and it's illegal. It's a covert way of doing business. Excuse me. It's a covert way of labeling somebody mentally ill, criminal, or whatever it is that the label the label is intended to be. It's done covertly. So if it was intended to help the person, the system in place would be used, the normal system. But the intention is to enslave, so covert means are used. So this is all, like I said, this can be proven in court. All the documents, all the court documents, all the interaction with the cops, the ongoing nature of this program, the ongoing harassment, the ongoing degradation, the ongoing violation of human rights. This is all part of suppressing you, keeping you suppressed. It's about degrading you at first, bringing you down, and keeping you there, keeping you down on on an enslavement level. This is why it's ongoing. It's constant. Talk to you another time.